The old clock in the hallway chimed midnight, its mournful bang echoing through the dusty halls of Blackwood Manor. 10-year-old Finn, armed with a flashlight that cast dancing shadows, shivered. He knew he shouldn't be here. This haunted house, notorious for its ghostly residents, was strictly off-limits. But curiosity and the dare of his best friend had led him astray. He wasn't alone, not entirely. Flitting nervously on his shoulder was Pip, a fairy chipmunk whose tiny wings buzzed with a frantic energy. "Finn, this is a terrible idea. We should leave now," Pip squeaked, his voice barely audible above the creaking floorboards. Suddenly, a cold draft swept through the room. Two translucent figures materialized before them, two mischievous ghost boys, their spectral faces grinning wickedly. Well, what have we here?" One of them cackled, his voice sending a chill down Finn's spine. Panic flared. Finn knew he had to get out, but his legs felt frozen in place. The ghost boys lunged, their icy hands reaching to grab him. As one touched his shoulder, an excruciating pain shot through him. He cried out, collapsing to the floor, every bone in his body protesting. This wasn't just fear, it was something far more primal, more terrifying. He began to change. Fur sprouted across his skin, his teeth elongated into sharp fangs, and his hands twisted into fearsome claws. Finn was transforming. The boy who had dared to enter Blackwood Manor was now a werewolf, howling in pain and confusion. Pip, despite his terror, knew he had to help. He zipped towards the ghosts, pelting them with acorn-sized bursts of fairy magic. The ghosts shrieked, momentarily distracted. Meanwhile, drawn by the commotion, a pink ghost lady floated into the room. She was different from the malicious ghost boys, an aura of kindness radiated from her. "Leave him be," she commanded, her voice surprisingly strong. The ghost boys, however, were not easily deterred. They joined hands, and a swirling vortex of green energy erupted around them. The two figures dissolved, reforming into a single, hulking entity. A green ghost minotaur, its spectral horns glowing with malevolent power. The minotaur roared, its gaze fixed on Finn, the werewolf boy. He lunged, and the pink ghost lady quickly intervened, creating a spectral shield. But the minotaur was too strong, the shield shattered like glass. Just as the minotaur was about to strike, the front doors of the manor burst open. Two knights, clad in rusted armor, stormed in, their swords drawn. But these weren't ordinary knights, they were possessed, their eyes glowing with the same eerie green light as the minotaur. They were the ghosts' enforcers. The fight was chaotic. The werewolf, still struggling to control his new form, lashed out wildly, his claws tearing at the possessed knights. Pip flew around, harassing the minotaur with incessant blasts of fairy energy. The pink ghost lady, despite her ethereal form, bravely defended Finn, creating distractions and shielding him from the worst of the attacks. The battle raged, the fate of Finn, and perhaps Blackwood Manor itself, hanging in the balance. Finally, Pip, remembering an old fairy tale, realized they had to break the ghosts' connection. He flew towards the possessed knights, his tiny voice amplified by fairy magic, shouting, "Look at your reflections." The knights, momentarily confused, glanced at the polished surface of their armor. In the reflection, they saw not their own faces, but the distorted, malevolent gazes of the ghost boys. The shock broke the possession. The knights, freed from the ghost's control, stumbled back, disoriented. With their connection to the knights severed, the minotaur weakened, its form flickering. The pink ghost lady seized the opportunity. She focused her spectral energy, creating a blinding light that washed over the minotaur. With a final, ear-splitting shriek, the minotaur dissolved, the two ghost boys separating and fading into nothingness. As the last echoes of the battle faded, Finn, exhausted and weak, slowly transformed back into a boy. He lay trembling on the floor, surrounded by the concerned faces of Pip, the pink ghost lady, and the two knights, who were still trying to understand what had happened. The pink ghost lady smiled gently. "The night of the werewolf is over, child. You are safe now." Finn, forever changed by his experience, knew that Blackwood Manor held secrets far more dangerous than he could have ever imagined. He also learned that even in the darkest of places, friendship, courage, and a little bit of fairy magic could triumph over evil. He left Blackwood Manor that night and in Tiny Paw with Pip, promising himself to never underestimate the power of the night or the dangers and the unexpected allies it held.